I think the toughest thing is when all synchronicities stop during the dark night of the soul. And it's just you and your instincts, which probably aren't at their height of level because you're going through a dark night of the soul.
I'm trying to think, did it stop? Probably right. Yeah, it did stop. Yeah.
It's just like whatever you choose to believe, your spirit guides, the universe, it's like it just goes quiet. You've come into this dark night of the soul, and everything's just gone dead, communication wise.
Yeah.
It's just you and you.
You and you, and whatever you're seeking or discovering is just yourself. Yes, I did a whole week of that. Whole week listening to Dr. Wayne Dyer.
Yeah. But in that moment, and you don't know how long it's going to last, but it probably will last a while. But you're like, what the bleep do I do now?
Yes.
Where do I go?
I felt like I was like a zombie state of mind. I will call it that, because like I was just like glued to the bed, trying to like analyze things, trying to figure it out in my head. Who do I talk to? Who do I get? Where do I go? That kind of thing.
Welcome to the Awakening Table. We are Galiopi and Petros, and we created this channel as a means to share our experience of going through the dark night of the soul currently, and doing this through open, raw discussion at the dinner table. Why do we do this? We do it knowing others are going through it, and we hope that sharing our experiences may help you with your journey.
If you enjoy our videos and content, please show us some love by hitting like and subscribe and the notification bell to be notified when a new video is out. Thank you. And today we're talking about synchronicities.
Synchronicities. They're great when you're getting them. They're like little guides, little directions, from your higher self, the universe, spirit guides, whatever you want to believe. And you almost become a little bit dependent on them in life.
Oh, yeah.
Would you say? Because they're good when they're there.
Well, like when you didn't I don't know about dependent, like, because I felt like yesterday I had a conversation with a friend, and then I was watching a video today, and I was like, oh, how's that? We were just talking about this yesterday. So it kind of like gives you that feeling where you've been looked after. So I don't know about depending on it. Like,
maybe depending was the wrong word. I think really what I wanted to say is they're great and quite helpful when they happen, when they're there.
Yes.
And I think they add that sense of magic and mystery to life as well, because sometimes a synchronicity happens and you think, whoa,
yeah,
did not expect that, or see that coming, or, oh, that's even better than I thought.
Yeah.
Or gee, that was lucky.
Yes.
You get that. You get that mixture of powerful emotions,
and also you feel like that whatever you've been learning or looking into, or even going within yourself, and then that synchronicity occurs, you're like, oh, I'm in the right path, because it's telling you the same messages that you've been learning about yourself and what you weren't aware of. And if you're in the right track or not, then you feel like you've been guided and that you learn to trust the universe.
And just in case you're watching this and you're not sure what a synchronicity is, it's when things happen for you beyond your control, when things line up for you, and you don't necessarily, and in most cases, I think you don't see it happening, or you don't expect it to happen, and so it's a bit of a surprise. But a synchronicity is the lining up of the different intersections of your life that move you forward in a positive way, or in a way you weren't expecting, but that works out for you. I don't know if that made any sense at all.
Yeah, and I think, also with synchronicities is I don't know if you get this a lot, but I bump into a lot of people, random places, and I feel like it's either it's telling you a message, or it's there to teach you something, or learn a lesson or something, or it's actually there to guide you to the right direction. So it can go either way. Like, for example, like when we first met and we were like, you were driving me home, and we were talking about, I was telling Petros like about numerology, because I was learning about numerology, and then we had a full discussion from the start of the trip to the end of the trip. And then that very night Petra
And
sent me a video.
specifically about the number 7. We were talking about the number 7.
Yes, you were talking about the number 7, and yeah, funnily enough, Petra sent me a video, and it was just related exactly to what we were discussing in the class.
So it was a video that came up on my YouTube feed of a lady that I follow. Her name's Christina Lopes. Feel free to check her out. She's really good. And the synchronous, if that's the word, thing about it is that not only did the video talk about specifically the number 7 in numerology like we did, but a lot of what she talked about was almost verbatim what we were talking about in the car. And it was almost like, yes, take heed of that, follow through on that information.
Yeah.
And that's what a synchronicity is in the context of what we're discussing today.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is guiding, a lot of it is helping you almost like a video game move to the next stage of things. And it's one of the many things, and certainly one of the bigger things that says to me there's something higher, there's a higher power of some sort, whatever, however you choose to describe it. I describe it God, the universe, source. And that, I talk about life being a choose your own adventure novel for those who grew up with choose your own adventure novels. There are synchronicities that help us to choose certain adventures and certain paths in our life to get to where we need to go. But what I found very difficult, though, and many do, is during a dark night of the soul, because it's about you going within, cleansing, getting to know you, forgiving yourself, healing yourself, rebuilding yourself. For a while you're in that darkness, that void, the synchronicities and the guidance through synchronicities just stop. They go quiet. It's almost like the universe said, you need to be on your own for a bit. It'll do you some good.
Yeah, because you could be like over analyzing things, and then it's like if you like rely on that or depend on it, then it could interfere with what you're actually going within yourself and dealing with the dark night of soul amongst yourself. So
Of course, the ego says, what the hell is going on? Somebody come and save me. But this is the time where you build yourself, your intuition, and try and build trust and faith in your own abilities. Because at the end of the day, I was listening to a YouTube video. It doesn't matter who it was now because I can't remember. And they said you're never truly disconnected, even in a dark night of the soul, because you are an expression of the very source that you're trying to connect with, and the connection you're trying to make isn't an energetic spiritual one. It's actually more the physical coming to the realization that you are already connected and just allowing that to connect with it, with the physical, or fuel the physical. And it's all part of the ego death process. But it's bloody scary during that time because you're already in darkness, you already feel vulnerable with everything else that the dark night of the soul brings. Then to get disconnected from
yourself, your higher self,
or higher self, your divine, whatever the case may be. Oh, it's intense, man. It's intense.
I would say it's just there to teach you something, because if you're avoiding it all the time, you basically can't avoid it. So that's another thing about synchronicity, because like it's there, like if you're not dealing with it now, then you're gonna deal with it later, and you're gonna know, you're gonna feel it.
My hand is up because I'm going through it right now. I thought I'd dealt with some things enough, but no. And I can see how I didn't do it enough, but geez, it sucks having to go through it all again. And I'm just trying to figure out how to do things right this time around. And that's the thing. I think part of why we don't get through things properly and have to go through them again is because we try and rush it. Our fears, our insecurities, and all that, and our overthinking cause us to try and rush it. And you can't rush this because, as we've said in previous videos, time isn't even a factor in all of this stuff. It's not. It's non-relevant.
And like also like there's so many things that can be happening in your life or that you weren't aware of. So to do everything all in one go is impossible. It's like it's not going to happen. So just taking your time with it, going with it, and then when you do get that hit, it's telling you something, and then when you do realize it and then be open to it, then you're gonna break down that one layer and then go through the next. So everything's not rushed. It's a journey. You open one chapter, you go to the next chapter. So
Exactly. But saying it is one thing, doing it and getting through it is another thing. But just remember, and as we sit here, we're living proof you can get through it, even if you've got to go back in and do some things again. You get through it.
yeah.
I mean, and I don't look 18, but I am. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
But it's more important to go through it and do it properly, but acknowledging how you feel along the way as well, because there's nothing wrong with feeling what you feel.
Yeah. And I feel like, asking a lot of questions with your family, if they're still around, or if you friends, or even if you just ask yourself, like, I remember this time, and then you go back, you press rewind and say, oh yeah, I remember this particular time and what I learned from it, what I did, what I didn't learn from it. You just analyze that, and then hopefully you can heal another wound or experience or a knowing of yourself to move past it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then what you'll find is that eventually, at the right time, some synchronicities, and I'm sort of throwing in guidance here as well, because it sort of goes hand in hand. But the synchronicities and the guidance does come back again. Sometimes it might be in short spurts, and the more you progress, the more you become more synchronized with the universe. And that's where you realize you were never really disconnected. You were just unaligned a little bit, and you had to be in order to move into new alignment, if any
Yes.
of that makes sense.
Yeah. Being a higher vibration and
Yeah.
trusting it. I mean, if you have an experience of not of trust, then that's something the universe is telling you to be open to trust, and mainly is to trust the universe, because no matter how many things go wrong or right, you're still going to experience it through synchronicities, through the dark night of soul, through life itself. You're going to experience it, and it's there to teach you something. 100%, it's there to teach you something, and you can avoid it, but then it's always going to come back. So when it does, there's no escape either way.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. But synchronicities are very beautiful, because like also you can notice patterns, and then if you journal it down, you can like you be more aware of what's happening in your surroundings and how you act or behave, and certain things that you didn't realize for yourself because you weren't looking within yourself. It's there to just give you that guidance and that trust
Yeah,
again, to
yeah.
open up to these things.
And it's about my favorite thing, patience as well.
Patience.
Bloody patience.
Yep.
It teaches you a bit of that as well. It's trying to teach me, but for every other normal person, it teaches you some patience, and it teaches you to actually be a bit more mindful and present with yourself as well, which can be difficult. But the more you practice, the more you'll get there.
Yeah, and I'm an Aries, so our worst trait is patience. It was like rush, rush, go, go, go. But yeah, I have to learn that. I think because as you go through stages in life, from young baby to teenage, adolescence to adulthood, you start to learn patience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
big time.
so
So hopefully that's been interesting for you and informative about synchronicities during the dark night of the soul. Was there anything else you wanted to add, or?
no, I think that's all for now.
All right.
Yeah.
What are some synchronicities you've had recently or at some point in your life? Give us an example and share your story in a few words down below. And if you've got questions, put them down below as well. We'd be more than happy to answer them as we get to them.
And don't forget to subscribe, like, send the video to your friends, family, partner, whoever, and write a comment, as Petra said. We'd like to hear from you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
And come back again.
And peace be with you. Bye.
Bye.